Hello everyone, and finally welcome to Bayclan. This is the final part of 3 in my series introducing you guys to my fan clans. I created this clan, Sunriseclan and MapleClan, years ago for a story I wanted to write. These clans were not made with a generator, they came out of my brain. And it took many years to design all of these cats and flesh out their characters. I never actually wrote that story I wanted to write, but I still kept these clans around because I loved them and they took so much effort. So this is Bayclan's video and their allegiance. This clan is the largest of the 3, so buckle up for a pretty long video. If you haven't seen the Sunriseclan or MapleClan videos, I highly recommend starting there because it gives a little more context to their territory. For Bayclan, their territory ranges from the right side of the river through the misty forest. They get to gatherings at the Great Oak by swimming across the rushing river. Bayclan are powerful swimmers, and no other clan is capable of swimming through this river. The Bayclan camp is on a small river island that has only one point of entry. Bayclan uses this hollowed-out log to access their camp. They walk over the top of it, but the warrior's den is actually inside the log. They sleep inside to prevent intruders from entering their camp unnoticed. Meanwhile, the leader, Duckar, sleeps under the sharp rock and often climbs to the top to call her clan meetings. The nursery is in the tree trunk behind her den. There's also a little sandy riverbank that the queens will use to start teaching their kids how to swim from an early age. The water there is calm and peaceful. The apprentices sleep in a hole in the ground, and the medicine cat den is a rocky outcropping right next to the elder's den. Now, I usually draw the other parts of the territory in these videos, but I have to be honest with you guys, I do not like drawing landscapes and backgrounds, and the thought of drawing like 3 or more of these forests and river drawings was bringing me dread. So I hope you don't mind that I did not draw the rest of the territory. I just have some videos to help you visualize what I think that their clan territory looks like. So I imagine this is what the right side of the river looks like between the mainland and the island. I think that there would be a log somewhere along this river, and the left side would be a smaller island. And this is the other side of the island with nice gentle water for learning how to swim. But the farther out you go into the water, the stronger the current becomes, and the harder it is to get across. Before Sunriseclan settled in the cliffside, Bayclan and MapleClan were permanently locked in battle. MapleClan used to be much bigger, and each clan wanted more territory, more hunting rights, more access to StarClan. Many cats died in these battles, especially for MapleClan. When Sunriseclan moved into the territory, MapleClan was livid, but their numbers had dwindled so severely that they had no way to fight this intruding clan from settling in the territory that houses their only way to commune with StarClan. Meanwhile, Bayclan was actually very pleased about the intrusion of Sunriseclan. Their greatest rival has lost their unrestricted access to the Crystal Cave and to StarClan. You may think, well, Bayclan has also lost their access to StarClan, haven't they? But that's not true. Bayclan's medicine cat is highly connected to their ancestors and found a small pond that sits in the misty forest. Most cats don't travel there as the foliage is dense and it is very dangerous. But she follows her unnatural senses to this pool. Now, MapleClan's numbers can't recover because of all the prey Sunriseclan requires, and Bayclan succeeds by fishing and hunting in the dangerous misty forests, and they have unrestricted access to StarClan, something MapleClan does not have. First is our leader Duckar and her trusted deputy Silvertongue. Duckar grew up in Bayclan with her sister and grew into a very intelligent young warrior. She was selected as deputy at a rather young age. Duckar was famous among the other clans for being the leader with only one life, because when she was deputy, Bayclan's current leader was so old that he could hardly walk. Duckar was the leader of Bayclan long before she actually received her 9 lives. Duckar was given her 9 lives just before Sunriseclan settled into the territory. She was very happy to let the intrusion of this new clan stop the war between Bayclan and MapleClan. her clan is in a very good position, and MapleClan is struggling. Duckstar is outspoken and very intelligent, so she can solve any problem that comes her way. Her clan adores her and thinks she's the best leader that Bayclan's seen in many moons. Silvertongue is a hard worker, pushing himself out of his comfort zone to improve. Preferring to be out of the limelight, he's fantastic at staying out of Duckstar's way and completing his tasks quickly. Sly and clever, he's light on his paws and quick to react. He doesn't love easily and is unflirty due to being oblivious to others' feelings about him. He's also starting to lose his hearing, making him feel even more distanced from his clanmates. Next is our medicine cat, Honeyspring. As a young kit, she and her sister Pebblegleam would play make-believe around the island camp. Pebblegleam at least thought it was make-believe, but Honeyspring could actually see kittens from StarClan playing with them. Her entire life, Honeyspring was always surrounded by the ghosts of her ancestors. As a kit, she thought this was fun, but as an apprentice, she grew tired of hearing so many voices of cats, living and dead. She grew more and more quiet until she could hardly speak or think over the voices. One evening, troubled by yowling coming from the misty forest, Honeyspring traveled alone into the dangerous woods. Many predators hunted in the dense foliage of this forest. Only the strongest, bravest Bayclan warriors were allowed inside. Honeyspring followed the voice and it led her to a blue, bubbling pond. She dipped her toes in, and immediately the voices were silent but one. Hers. Honeyspring no longer hears the constant chatter, but has a strong connection to the afterlife through this pond. When StarClan needs to speak with her, they hum to her from the pond, and Honeyspring dutifully travels through the misty forest to see what her ancestors have to say. Spiderpaw, her apprentice, has zero connection to StarClan. He's still a young apprentice, so he's not allowed to travel through the misty forest to the pond, but he secretly hopes that StarClan never speaks to him when he does get to go there. Listening to his dead relatives sounds freaky. He just likes helping his clanmates and wants to help heal them. Hollystrike is extravagant and full of life. He's dramatic, over the top, and exuberant. Every hunting trip or scouting patrol is a spectacle if Hollystrike is involved. He likes to be the center of attention, but he isn't conceited. He just appreciates when others pay him attention. Praise and admiration are what he truly thrives on. He was abandoned to Bayclan as a kid, so he's constantly looking for the approval of others. Hollystrike is often sharing his prey with cats that need it most, and he's always bringing prey to the queens in the nursery, especially the mother of his kits, Delila, and another queen that's currently pregnant with another one of his litters. Hollystrike isn't really one for romance, but he did want kits to continue on his wonderful lineage. It just so happened that Delila and the other queen wanted kits as well, and he was happy to oblige. Shrikepaw is Hollystrike's apprentice. He was found by Honeyspring while he was wandering in the misty forest. StarClan had called her to save him, so she thinks he may have an important future ahead of him. Shrikepaw doesn't know this though, and is just happy that the medicine cat is a good friend of his. Shrikepaw also has a soft spot for his mentor. Since he and Hollystrike were both abandoned as kits, they've been able to bond over their desire to be loved. Hollystrike has been very helpful to Shrikepaw in overcoming his fears of rejection and abandonment. All in all, Shrikepaw is just a goofy young kit, and he doesn't really understand the responsibility that will rest on his shoulders someday. Thistle is Duckstar's sister. She's an average warrior, but is deeply devoted to Duckstar and Bayclan. She's always the first one to act at the sign of trouble or the first to volunteer for patrols. Secretly, Thistle does all this because she had always wanted to be deputy, so she hoped that when her sister became the leader, she would choose Thistle to be deputy. When Silvertongue was chosen, Thistle was incredibly put off and jealous. She spent many moons sulking around the camp and going out on patrols by herself. Finally, Duckstar gave her an apprentice just so she would stop moping. Heather Thistle enjoys teaching and likes her apprentice, but is still bitter because she wasn't chosen for deputy. It's for an understandable reason, though. You wouldn't want favoritism to rule the clan. Choosing your own sister as your deputy could be considered favoritism. Minkpaw is Spiderpaw's sister, and much like her brother, she has no faith in StarClan. She's blunt about her opinions and doesn't mind telling you what she really thinks, including if she thinks that StarClan is stupid, or if you are stupid. She's straight to the point and confident in herself. She doesn't easily admit defeat when something may be too much for her to handle. Her swimming abilities are subpar at best, but she's not willing to admit it, so she's often rescued from the river by Heather Thistle when they're fishing. She'd never admit that to any of the other apprentices, though. Next is Clover Belly and Garlic Patch. These two were once kitty pets that managed to find their way to Bayclan by following the river upstream. Eventually, they came to a land full of wild cats and were shocked to find such an interesting and new way of life. Clover Belly is chunky and a big softie on the inside and out. He is definitely the stereotypical kitty pet. He's gentle and a go-with-the-flow kind of Tom. Although he is technically a warrior, Cloverbelly has assigned himself the den dad duty. Bayclan has many kits and many on the way, so he takes his self-appointed tasks very seriously. He's especially excited for Garlic Patch's litter to arrive. They aren't technically related, but they grew up in the same kitty pet home, so they see each other as siblings more than anything. Garlic Patch is the other queen carrying Hollystrike's kits. She felt no need for a mate, but had always wanted kits of her own. Something like that would never happen as a kitty pet, but now in the clan, she was free to do as she pleased. She chose the strongest, most handsome Tom in the clan to father her kits. She's very excited, but doesn't feel ready to move into the crowded nursery. She's very shy, and since joining the clan, she's had a hard time making friends with the other queens. It's not that the other queens are mean or anything, it's just that Garlic Patch has a hard time reaching out. Not to mention, there are 3 other queens in the den, and that's not including all of their kits and Cloverbelly. So Garlic Patch is still sleeping in the warrior den log, just because it's a little less crowded, if you can believe it. Next are Dove and Fuchsia Frost. Dove was a loner before joining Bayclan, and she saw some very rough times. From other rogues to dogs, Dove has faced many adversities in her life. She's self-conscious of her appearance and is highly aware of the way kids stare at her, and sometimes how other cats stare at her. Preferring to spend most of her time ranging the territory, Dove spends much of her time alone as to not burden her clanmates. Her only friend is Fuchsia Frost, really. She's afraid to let others in and worries that she'll just be rejected because of the way that she looks. She's very friendly though, and once you become friends with her, she will protect you by any means necessary. She would do anything for Fuchsia Frost. She would die for him. Fuchsia Frost only sees the good in Dove. Many cats say she's not a true clan cat since she's always alone, but Fuchsia Frost sees when she brings mouthfuls of prey into the camp at night while everyone is sleeping. He's constantly telling her how wonderful she is, and he has the hugest crush on her. Comforting, gentle, and soft-hearted, Fuchsia Frost is one of the sweetest Toms you'll ever meet. He is very similar to his adoptive mother, and the exact opposite of his brother, Redridge, who's next. I really hope that these two get together someday because they seem really sweet together, and I hope that Dove can come out of her shell. Redridge, like I said, is Fuchsia Frost's brother, and Daisy Slip is their adoptive mother. The boys' biological mother had died during kidding, and Daisy Slip was happy to adopt them. She'd never really had kids of her own, so she was pleased to take in some that needed her. There were 3 brothers, but the third was actually murdered. If you guys haven't seen Sunrisecland, you may not know Pebblegleam. She was Redridge's mate, but when she had an affair with his brother, Redridge found out and murdered his own brother. When this happened, Pebblegleam fled to Sunrisecland for safety, leaving her newborn kids. Redridge swears he will get his revenge someday. Meanwhile, he's left in Bayclan to care for the kits that are not actually his. Pebblegleam ended up giving birth to kits due to the affair, and they do look similar to Redridge, but he knows that they're not his. However, to save face, he tells the clan that they belong to him and that they are his kids. Daisy Slip, his mother, is oblivious to her son's toxic traits. She sees her handsome sons and has no idea that there is a problem with Redridge. She loves them all equally and misses her third kid desperately. She often asks Honeyspring to speak with him in StarClan. Honeyspring always lies and tells poor old Daisy Slip that her son is happy in StarClan, when in reality, he's desperately trying to prevent Redridge from killing anyone else. Next is a fun pair of mates, Blizzardberry and Rippleskip. These two are lively and mischievous. They get into lots of trouble together, daring each other to climb the tallest trees or dive off the small waterfalls in the territory. They often have contests to see who can catch the biggest fish or who can run the fastest. Best friends for their entire adult lives, these two finally became mates about a year ago. In that time, they've had a litter of kits that are nearly ready to be made apprentices now. We'll come to them in a little bit. Blizzardberry is now pregnant again and ready to pop any day. These two plan to have as many kits as they possibly can and hope to have a huge family. They're doing a pretty good job of that. Secretly, they won't tell anyone this, but they joke to each other that they will take over the entire clan with their bloodline. Probably not a good idea, but I guess they'll try anyway. Our final warriors are the twins Maro and Hollystrike. These two are always together and take full advantage of looking similar. If one of them is assigned to a patrol that they really don't want to be on, the other one will go. It's not a big deal, and they take turns taking care of each other like that. Most of the clan can't tell them apart at a glance, even though it's pretty easy. Both of them have snaggled teeth. Maro-Daze's tooth sticks out on the right, and Hollystrike's on the left. Most of the clan doesn't bother noticing, though, as these guys aren't the most well-liked in the clan. They like to play pranks and get into lots of trouble, so most of the queens do not like them, and even Duckstar finds them pretty obnoxious. Kits think that they're hilarious, and the boys love to show kits how to prank their mothers, but the older warriors definitely find them very annoying. Besides each other, the twins' best friend is their grandma, Violet Lily. She's loving and kind-hearted, so she thinks her grandsons are the best cats in the clan. Sometimes she's even in on their pranks and thinks it's really fun. Our final two apprentices in the clan are Fernpaw and Robinpaw. These two are the kits that resulted from Pebblegleam's affair with Redridge's brother. They don't understand why their mother abandoned them to live in a different clan, and they never speak if they happen to see each other at gatherings. They're also under the impression that Redridge is their father, because that's what he tells everyone. But he definitely doesn't act like it, and the girls think he's mean anyway. He mostly ignores them, and they've been left to raise themselves practically. All they have is each other. Robinpaw is the quieter of the sisters, and prefers to be in silence if she can. Fernpaw doesn't usually let that happen because she's incredibly bubbly and energetic. Someday they will both grow into intelligent warriors without their parents' help. If you have any suggestions for Fernpaw's full name, I'd love to hear them. I think Robinpaw's full warrior name will be Robin Egg, but let me know what you guys think. Now we are jumping into the very full nursery. First are Blizzardberry and Rippleskip's first litter of kits. These are 4 girls, and they're just about ready to become apprentices, and they are beyond excited. They're really crowding up the nursery, and often get kicked out by some of the queens. The 4 of them can often be found sleeping on the sandy beach under the stars in a big kitten pile. Especially if the weather's nice, they would prefer to be out of the nursery anyway. They think they're big kids now. From left to right, we have the compassionate caramel kit, the feisty fox kit, serious copper kit, and shy moss kit. These 4 kits are always zooming around camp, chasing one another, and causing mischief just like their parents. They can't wait for their mother to give birth to her next litter so they can have more siblings to play with. Poor Bayclan is going to have to deal with Blizzardberry and Rippleskip, plus all of their heathen brood of troublemakers. Next is a queen named Delila and her 2 kits, Mist Kit and Quail Kit. These kittens are Hollystrikes and will most likely grow up to have thick, bushy coats since both of their parents are very fluffy. Delila was actually a kitty pet, hence her collar, who got lost in the mountains near MapleClan territory. There's a campground with cabins up there, and I guess her 2 legs decided to bring her with them. She did not want to go camping, and she got spooked one night and ran out of the cabin. She stumbled upon MapleClan, and they were less than friendly to her at the time. Sunriseclan wasn't in the territory yet, so she continued down the mountain and found Bayclan. They tried to take her back to the campground, but MapleClan refused to let them pass, so Bayclan accepted her. She still wishes she could go back to her kitty pet life. She misses her 2 legs and the comforts of a 2-leg nest. She's a very sweet cat with nothing but the best intentions in mind, and that makes her a great clanmate. She's never out patrolling or hunting. She is strictly a den mom. She doesn't want to hunt anyway. Her kittens, especially Mist Kit, are a handful for her, and she refuses to discipline them for fear of them not liking her. I don't think that that's possible because she's such a sweet and gentle cat, but these kittens will become quite difficult if she doesn't do something about their attitudes soon. Our final queen is Egret Fang and her kits, the youngest in the clan right now, Ice Kit and Soot Kit. Egret Fang is actually the daughter of Weedclaw from MapleClan and is Snowstar's sister. They don't know that they're related, but they both have to admit that it's quite suspicious how similar they look. Egret Fang is a maternal character that always wanted kits from a young age. She's quite introverted and often needs breaks from the crowded nursery. She's beyond grateful for Cloverbelly's help in the den. He's more than happy to watch over her kits while she takes walks in the territory. She desperately misses hunting and going to gatherings, and sometimes she regrets having these kittens. But watching them grow and play and become real cats has been very satisfying for her, so she would never trade them for the world. Finally, we have our two elders, besides Daisy Slip. These two are good friends and have been for many, many years. Violet Lily is a fun-loving grandma with an easygoing attitude. She's had many kits in her days, but unfortunately none managed to outlive her. Instead, she has her wonderful grandsons, the twins, to care for. She adores them and thinks they can do no wrong. This is, of course, not right, but don't tell Violet Lily. She's always happy to join them in their antics, and nobody can tell her no because she's an elder and she does whatever she wants. Aspenroot is her best friend, and he's less tolerant of her grandsons. Aspenroot actually has a granddaughter and two great-grandkids in the clan. We'll see how they're related when we check out the family trees next. They're pretty long. He's very proud of how large his family has become, and he loves getting to watch his grandkids grow. He hopes that he lives to see the day that they are made warriors, but he's very, very old and worries that he might miss it. The family trees in this clan are so long that I actually had to make 3 separate pages to fit all of them. So this is Aspenroot's lineage. As you can see, we have all 3 clans in this family tree. Daisy Slip and Blueface are siblings. Honeyspring and Pebblegleam are also siblings. And Aspenroot's grandkits are Egret Fang's babies that could not even fit on this page, so they will be on the next one. Egret Fang's mate is Whiskerspeck, who I forgot to draw until now, so that's him. He's a tuxedo, just like his sister Blizzardberry, but after drawing like 36 cats, I couldn't do another one. And finally, we have the smaller family trees and the cats that just aren't related to anyone. And that is all for Bayclan. This clan took so much work, and I'm glad to finally be done with it. I love this clan so much, but drawing nearly 3 dozen characters really takes it out of you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I think we can do it. My next video may take a little bit of time after this monster of a video, but if you join me for it, I'll see you then.